Welcome out to tonight's advisory report. It is Thursday, May 28th, 2026. We are looking at our dashboard. Favorable conditions, intermediate trend is bullish, and so is the short-term trend. That means that we are playing offense. You can see in our targets today that our ultra aggressive is at a current 90% offensive target, and the aggressive is at 99%, moderate aggressive is at 80%, and our moderate is at 64%. So we are definitely playing some offense. Let's go ahead and look at the charts and see why. We'll start out with our intermediate trend chart, and we are looking at price, which is this S&P 500. This is the S&P 500 weekly chart. It's a line chart. Above this orange line, the 30-week moving average, we will be playing predominantly offense, and our bias will be to bullish. And below the 30-week line, denoted by this red area, we will be playing defense. And you can see we are definitely in an offensive mindset right now as the intermediate trend continues to be very bullish. Let's jump down to the short-term chart, and we'll just expand this out a little bit. You can see this is the run from the bottom of March 30th actually, and it's been a very bullish run to the upside. We continue higher as the S&P 500 is continuing to move up. Let's go ahead and look at yields really quick. Typical ratio here is yields, or comparison is yields down, bonds should be up. So we'll look at the bond chart really quick, but you can see really we've just been in a fairly loose range, I would say, for the past few years, just kind of going sideways, bouncing up and down. So let's look at bonds. Remember, yields down, bonds up, and here we have bonds moving off the lows. Now, if I was to look at a trend area, right, we are coming to the top of this trend line. We'll look to see if this is resistance, and we'll see if price bounces off the top of this line and then moves down like it did right here, here, and here. Or if we can break out above this line and continue forward, we may be adding some bond exposure at that point. But right now, the overall trend is down, but a good move off of the bottom. Let's go on over and let's look at the S&P 500. Let's look at the 5-minute chart on the daily really quick. Each one of these areas, each one of these little kind of tick marks inside of the blue to blue or the gray to gray, this is the full day, and this is the movement inside of the day. So let's go ahead and look at today. You can see early morning buying that found support right at previous resistance. If we drew a line across right here, and then continued higher and stabilized. Very bullish move on the day. Let's go ahead and check out some stocks that we own inside our ultra aggressive account. Let's go on over to Lunar. Lunar's been a wild and woolly one that we've had in the portfolio for a while. I mean, just to give you perspective, right before January, so mid-December, this stock was priced at $10 a share. Today, it closed at an all-time closing high of $45 a share. So a 400% move from mid-December till end of May. And we've played this one fairly nicely. And I think, well, this was a weird day right here. And it actually caused me to sell a little bit. As we bounce back up, we sold a little bit yesterday, and I sold a little bit more today as we've captured a lot of this move that we're looking at here. So we still have some holdings in this, but we've kind of reduced and booked some profits on it. Let's look at GEV, and GEV just kind of hanging around support, testing the 50-day moving average. Still, if I was to draw one of those lines, let's see if I can do it. Oh, pushed that button at the wrong spot. No, not going to work. Okay. But regardless, let's clear this out. Try it again. There we go. Okay, you can see if I drew a little downtrend line right here. And we popped above, and then we failed a breakout, but we're still kind of consolidating, moving sideways, holding support at the 50-day moving average. We'll see if this moves us sideways a little bit more and pops out, but we do have some of this. Now we also have MRVL, and just another major move. Looking at the beginning of March, all the way through to the end of May, this stock went from about $83 to $220 in price. Just, what is that? A double and a half, maybe. But still looking very, very constructive as I make this a little bit larger. You can see a pullback, which is expected. Maybe some support. We'll see if this thing turns around and goes back up. Micron been kind of the darling of this most recent run. At this point, kind of funny. If you were to turn into the news or watch some of these so-called specialists on the market, a lot of talk about NVIDIA. NVIDIA has done nothing close to what this stock has done. If we go to January 2026, priced in at $280, now priced in at $930. And we've captured a bunch of this move also, but still sitting here in a very good spot. We still have some of this. I'm going to go ahead and type in NVIDIA really quick just to see if we can do a little comparison. And let's go to NVIDIA right here, $189 to $230. So, and now a nice pullback all the way down to $215. So that's the difference between a stock like NVIDIA and a stock like Micron. I mean, you can visually see the difference going pretty much parabolic here. So we don't follow what the news says. We follow what price says here. And let's go ahead and take a final look at Intel. And another major move for Intel. March 31st until now, going from a price of about $44 to $125. That's probably about, what is that, 300% move. Well, you can do the math. And it's looking constructive. It's holding up. We'll see if this is continuing a little bit of sideways action and maybe thrust higher. Of course, if it fails, we'll cut our losses if it starts moving down. That's what I got for you today. Take care. Have a wonderful afternoon.